Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to outside the Johan Cruijff Arena in Amsterdam for Ajax versus Chelsea. This is going to be my match preview. Before we get into the preview, I do want to talk a little bit about yesterday's video just for a second, because I've not had that many videos that have caused like overwhelming controversy on the channel. Yesterday's video did, and that was a blunder on my behalf in terms of my initial title and thumbnail. And some people think I'm crazy enough to believe that Chelsea should sell N'Golo Kante. Just for the record, I do not believe that, and if people watch the whole video they would know that I didn't believe that, but the way I presented it to the channel made it seem like I was trying to be overtly controversial for no reason. So I apologise for that, and we move on from it. And unfortunately, N'Golo Kante will not be featuring tomorrow night for Chelsea. He hasn't trained the day before the game. The players did a training session this morning, and then this afternoon, at the time of me recording this, they're actually in the air right now, flying to Amsterdam for Ajax away. And before we get into any like Ajax talking about the team, we get into making up the Chelsea team, we should probably focus a little bit on the wider context of this game. And I personally believe that this match is Chelsea's biggest test, and also the biggest game of the season so far, in terms of what happens in this one will have an impact on the rest of our season. Now, in the Champions League group, Ajax have played 2 matches. That might be them landing now. They've played 2 matches and they've won 3-0 both times. So we scraped past Lille and we were beaten at home to Valencia. So from what we've seen, Ajax have played the same opponents that we have, and they've been very, very good. Despite losing 2 of their key players in last season's very successful season, they've not really dropped in the quality that they're putting out on the pitch. They've got a good manager, they've got great squad depth, and they play a very certain attacking way that we'll get into in a moment. So Ajax are there on 6 points, Valencia on 3, Chelsea on 3, and then Lille are currently struggling. So let's say Chelsea win tomorrow, we go level on points with Ajax, and then we take them back to Stamford Bridge, where they might not even be allowed to bring any fans, and we could be looking at topping the group after 4 matches if we manage to get either 4 or 6 points from these Ajax fixtures. So tomorrow, the key is not to lose the game. If we lose the game, we go 6 points behind. Let's just say hypothetically Valencia beat Lille, and Chelsea is starting to really have to look at ways to rely on other teams' results in order for us to even qualify from the group. Not losing the game tomorrow means that Chelsea still have it within their hands to actually qualify into the last 16 of the Champions League come February, and then, as I said in my Champions League video when we saw the draw, when you get to the knockout stages, you never know what's going to happen. So who knows? As long as Chelsea get out of this group, we could beat anybody. But we're not going to get into that discussion today. Our opponents, Ajax, this is their home ground. Chelsea will be entering like kind of round the side behind me over there tomorrow night. I'm in the away end. Lawrence is here with me. Say hi, Lawrence.
What's up?
He's holding the gimbal right now, so his arm's going to start aching. But Ajax play a very, very attractive style of football, as the Chelsea, which means that surely tomorrow there's going to be a load of goals in terms of the formations and how the teams are going to line up. I'm not going to break down Ajax player by player. I've actually got a video going out tomorrow, which is an Ajax player versus a current Chelsea player that will be out before the game. But Ajax usually like to play with a 4-2-3-1 formation, which transitions into like a 4-3-3 with the fullbacks going forward when they're attacking. And some of their key players, you look at the likes of the Brazilian David Neres, you've got Hakim Ziyech, the Moroccan, who's 26 and he's an absolute baller, and you've also got Dusan Tadic, who goes from Southampton to a Ballon d'Or nominee, which that is a decent career trajectory if you ask me. He's playing football for Ajax week in, week out. He kind of plays in like a striker role for them. And he's also a massive, massive danger. You've also got Donny van der Beek in the middle, who, if you didn't see the video I did with Nadine Redder, she's an Ajax fan, and we kind of spoke about the Ajax team and who they lost and who are still the key players in that team. And she mentioned Donny van der Beek. He's a massive threat. And you've got players that are very versatile. So Ajax can be very different with the way they play as opposed to their opposition. So for example, if we look at Hakim Ziyech as one of their key players, he often plays on the right hand side of the attacking midfield, cuts in on his left foot, but sometimes when they play better teams, he kind of moves back and plays in more of a central role, which not only fills out the middle of the park a lot more, but it also gives Ajax more options going forward if they want to change up the formation. So Erik ten Hag has got them set up in a very nice flowing football kind of way. They've played the same way throughout pretty much their entire history. The whole point of this man behind me was kind of the revolution for Ajax as a football club. So tomorrow I expect them to go with a 4-2-3-1. It's going to set up something a little bit like this and then transition to something like this when they're attacking. Chelsea, considering the injuries we have, I fully expect us to have to go with a flat back 4. We went with a back 3 in the game against Lille, seeing Reece James and Marcus Alonso as the wing-backs. That could also be the Chelsea plane. Any plane could literally be the Chelsea players landing at this moment in time. That is 2E. Maybe they're not sat on that one. Probably gone for something a bit more plush, you know what I mean? We went with the 3-5-2 against Lille, or the 3-4-3 with fullbacks, whatever you want to call it, and it didn't really work. And I think that it would be even more risky to revert back to that when we've actually started seeing success with a flat back four for this game against Ajax. I think that they're going to pose a real threat to us going forward, and it's up to us to play the same way that we have been playing, which is a very attacking style of football, creating opportunities through Mason Mount, through Willian, through Callum Hudson-Odoi and Tammy Abraham. You guys know now that at this moment in time, due to the form of Willian in particular, Chelsea have got quite a rigid front four. Moving back and injuries permitting, it all depends who's going to start. We don't really know. We could probably pick up an injury walking off the plane, knowing us. Someone just slips up in this wet Amsterdam weather. It's likely to be Jorginho and Kovacic, which was a pretty successful partnership in the middle for Chelsea in the game at the weekend against Newcastle. Moving into a back four, there are questions at the moment that maybe Emerson could get back into this team. It's a massive debate. Marcos Alonso has come in. He's looked very decent, but I think that one of the key areas and one of the key battles in this game is the pace and the trickery of some of these Ajax wingers, such as Neres, Promes if he plays. Also, you've got, what's his face, Ziyech, who we've mentioned multiple times in this video. These players could see Alonso really struggle and suffer in defensive situations tomorrow. So with Emerson, you get a bit more, I guess, agility, acceleration to go forward and also to get back if he makes a mistake. So maybe Emerson starts tomorrow if he is fit, but Chelsea got this issue at the moment where we keep bringing players back too quickly and then injuries get worse, and then we're still here having the same conversations week in, week out, game by game, about who's actually fit enough to play. Let's just say Emerson does play at left back. We're probably going to see the similar partnership of Tomori and Zuma. They're the only two real fully fit centre backs right now, and I actually think they're starting to build a pretty decent partnership together at the back. Tomori, there's been times where he's looked a little bit shaky, inexperienced perhaps, it could be that, but Zuma's been bailing him out the same way that Tomori bails Zuma out if they make individual errors. So that's something that's working well. And then the right back position, I'd love to see Reece James in this one. I think that his efficiency and the ability to put stuff going forward and also be agile defensively could be key for Chelsea, but I also think experience in a fixture like this one in what's going to be a very hostile atmosphere. Azpilicueta, the captain, is a very safe bet, and I actually think his performances have been very good in recent games, so I'm not worried about Azpi playing. And then obviously you've got Kepa in goal. Who do I think is going to make an impact off the bench for Chelsea? There is one obvious one. It's Christian Pulisic. He's looked very, very good. And he is knocking on the door now to get himself a start. It's just, I can't really justify taking the other players out. As much as I'd love to put Pulisic in, I do feel as though a start is around the corner. But I think for this one, again, you get that mixture of experience. If you put Willian in there, he does work hard. And tomorrow, we're going to need to work very hard across the pitch. So Willian's work rate could be key. So one of my favourite away days a couple of years ago was, you know, the reason I got this stupid bat tattoo on my wrist, the Michy Batshuayi night in Atletico Madrid. This kind of game could be the kind of game where Michy comes off the bench, maybe Olivier Giroud comes off the bench, a striker. Tammy Abraham is isolated out of the game. Ajax are very good across the field. We focus the majority on their attacking players, but they've got great players all over the pitch, Ajax. If Tammy is struggling and he can't get into the game, I fully expect either Frank to bring on a second striker, if we're chasing the game potentially, or say Tammy comes off. It could be the kind of game where Michy Batshuayi, Olivier Giroud, players with a point to prove to Frank Lampard, could come on and steal it for Chelsea, perhaps. I mean, we're all talking hypothetical stuff here, but I would like to see it. There are things in the world you like to see, and that would be it. That phrase, I've kind of just bought into it from football Twitter. It's like I've seen it a million times and now I can't stop saying the thing. It's a huge game tomorrow night for Chelsea. As it is my match preview, I should probably offer myself a prediction, or offer you guys a prediction. I'm going to stick with an element of realism as well as optimism and slight pessimism, a mixture of everything, but realism is the overriding one here. 2-2. I think a draw in this fixture wouldn't be a bad result. In an ideal world, we want to make it 6 wins from the last 6 games. That would be bloody wonderful. It's a big, big stadium. It's going to be a hostile night. The Chelsea fans, it's literally a free-for-all. It's unreserved seats, so it's going to be a little bit mental in there as well. And I think we can't underestimate this Ajax team. They've made a very, very good start to the season in the Champions League, and, well, we know what they did last season. Semi-finalists and only lost in the last minute to Spurs. So this team are very, very decent. They've got a great way of playing football. They've been playing under this manager now for a couple of years, and it's a footballing style that is very well drilled. We know what to expect, but at the same time, there's always that element of unpredictability with players of that kind of quality. So Chelsea can come here and get a point, take them back to the bridge where we're going to have 41,000 of us in the stadium that night at Stamford Bridge, because Ajax have got a stadium ban for their fans for that one. It could be a nice little avenue into the last 16 for Chelsea. Avoid defeat tomorrow. I don't say that we should play for a draw. That's definitely not what we should do. This is not the Frank Lampard way from what we've seen so far. Play for the win, but I'd accept a draw. So yeah, try to keep this preview short and sweet. I'm going to head back into the centre of Amsterdam now. My friend Kieran is coming. You guys might know his YouTube channel, Kizzle Kicks. He's coming all this way without a ticket just to have a little bit of fun with the laddios in Amsterdam. It's gonna get a little bit crazy, I think, this week. It's Burnley away. It's like the perfect antithesis for following a top team. It's like you go for like a crazy away day in Amsterdam and then you drive up to Burnley. Thank you guys for watching this match preview. If you're excited for the game tomorrow and you're looking forward to the match vlog and also the player comparison video coming out tomorrow, hit the like button. If you're not yet subscribed to the George Benson football channel, whenever we do a European away day, I like to do my previews behind the stadium, behind some like iconic signage as we've got here at the Johan Cruijff Arena. Match vlog is going to come out tomorrow as well. It's going to be a sick little Amsterdam football experience, fan experience kind of thing, doing a bit of everything. You guys know the drill. 6 Things We Learned will also be out from Amsterdam the following day. Thank you guys for watching. Come on, you Blues. See you all tomorrow. Goodbye.